You think a 12-hour layover at JFK is just boring. It's not. It's dangerous for your energy, your wallet, and sometimes even your flight. JFK is one of those airports that quietly drains people. The terminals are huge, the prices are high, and time disappears faster than you expect. Most travelers walk in confident and walk out exhausted, irritated, and wondering where the hours went. And it's usually because they do the wrong things. They eat badly, they sit in the wrong spots, they skip rest, and then panic kicks in when boarding time gets close. Today, I'm giving you the 5 smartest moves to survive a 12-hour layover at JFK Airport and still step onto your next flight feeling human, clear-headed, and in control. One of these moves shocks a lot of people when they realize how much time and money they've been wasting. Another can save you hundreds of dollars if you know it early enough. You don't need to remember everything you've ever heard about JFK. You don't need a complicated plan. All you have to do is follow this order. If you get the order right, the layover stops feeling chaotic. This works whether you're flying international or domestic, economy or business class, first time at JFK or you've passed through it a dozen times already. We're going to count it down, step by step, so you always know what to do next. 5. Don't wander. Lock your base first. JFK punishes people who wander. Big terminals. Long walks. Closed food spots when you least expect it. And if you just start walking with no plan, the airport quietly eats your time. The first 10 minutes of your layover decide everything. Not later. Not after you eat. Right away. Before you do anything else, lock your base. That means you stop, breathe, and figure out your terminal zone. JFK is not the airport where you casually bounce around. Security lines change. Gate assignments shift. Distances are bigger than they look on the map. Here's what you identify immediately, and this part matters. First, your gate area. Even if the gate changes later, you need to know where you're starting from and how long it takes to walk back. That walk back is what people underestimate, especially in terminals like Terminal 4. Second, one reliable bathroom near your gate zone. Not the closest one you happen to pass. A reliable one you can return to without stress. This sounds small, but it saves you from last-minute panic later. Third, one guaranteed food option that you know is open during your layover window. Not I'll see what's around. One confirmed option you can fall back on if everything else is crowded or closed. When you lock these 3 things, your layover stops feeling random. You now have a home base. People who skip this step don't realize what's happening until it's too late. They lose 30 minutes here, 40 minutes there, and suddenly they're wondering how 12 hours disappeared. 4. Eat once, eat right. Airport hunger makes people stupid. You walk past a few places, tell yourself you'll eat later, grab a snack, then another snack, and before you know it you've spent too much money and you're still tired and irritable. Here's the rule. 1 real meal. Not grazing. Not panic snacks. 1 proper meal. Eat earlier than you think you need to. At JFK, waiting until you're starving is how you end up standing in long lines during peak rush windows, usually late morning and early evening, when everyone else has the same idea. If you can, sit down. Even 30 minutes makes a difference. Sitting for a real meal slows your body down, lowers stress, and resets your brain. That reset is important on a long layover. A lot of people try to save time by eating on the move. That never works. You stay hungry, you stay tense, and you keep buying more food. Bad food decisions don't just affect your stomach. They turn into fatigue, irritability, and that rushed feeling that makes people miss boarding announcements or show up at the gate already stressed. And coming up, I'll show you where people think they should rest during a long layover, and where they actually should if they want to feel normal again. 3. Shower or sleep. You can't skip both. They try to push through. They tell themselves they'll just sit, scroll, drink coffee, and somehow survive 12 hours. That never works. Trying to push through a 12-hour layover at JFK is the fastest way to feel wrecked before your next flight even begins. You have to make one clear decision here, and it's binary. If you're exhausted, you sleep. If you're sticky, jet-lagged, or coming off a long flight, you shower. You cannot skip both and expect a good outcome. If your eyes are heavy and your body feels drained, resting is not a luxury. It's damage control. Even a short sleep in a quiet, controlled space does more for you than hours of half rest in a noisy gate area. If you feel grimy, stiff, or disoriented from crossing time zones, a shower changes everything. It resets your mood, your focus, and your patience. People underestimate how powerful that reset is in the middle of a long layover. At JFK, especially in Terminal 4, you actually have real options. Some airport lounges offer proper shower facilities if you have access. There are also private, minute-style rooms you can book for quiet rest when lounges are crowded or unavailable. And if neither of those fits your situation, there are nearby day-use options designed exactly for long layovers. The mistake people make is standing in the terminal thinking they'll decide later. Later turns into hours. Hours turn into frustration. Once you commit to either sleeping or showering, everything changes. Your body calms down. Your mind clears. And for the first time since you landed, you stop feeling like you're trapped in an airport and start feeling like a person again. 2. The TWA Hotel move. This is where the entire layover changes. The moment you step into the TWA Hotel at JFK, this is no longer an airport. This is a reset. The noise drops. The pace slows. Your brain finally gets a break from announcements, crowds, and rolling bags. And here's why this works so well during a long layover. First, silence. Not total silence, but controlled quiet. No constant boarding calls. No gate chaos. That alone lowers stress fast. Second, space. You're no longer squeezed into terminal seating or pacing corridors. You have room to sit, walk, breathe, and think. Third, real architecture. This isn't another generic airport space. It feels intentional. Designed. Human. That matters more than people realize when you've been traveling for hours. And most important, it's a mental break from terminals. You step out of survival mode. You stop checking the clock every 5 minutes. You don't just kill time here. You reclaim it. This is also why it's the safest escape option at JFK. You're still on airport property. You're not gambling with traffic, security lines, or unpredictable delays. You can enjoy the break and still return to your terminal without stress. Picture it for a second. You're sitting in a retro lounge. You can see planes taking off through massive windows. For a moment, you forget you're even traveling. For a 12-hour layover, this move alone can turn a miserable wait into something you actually remember for the right reasons. 1. Should you leave JFK at all? The truth. Leaving JFK during a long layover sounds exciting. New York City is right there. And yes, technically, you can do it. But this is where people get themselves into trouble. There are hard rules, and if you don't meet all of them, this is a no. Only do this if you have real buffer time. Not what you think is enough, but enough to handle delays, security lines, and unexpected slowdowns. JFK is under constant construction, and ground traffic is unpredictable year-round. Only do this if you understand re-entry. That means clearing security again, possibly immigration depending on your flight, and dealing with peak screening times. If that sentence already feels stressful, this isn't for you. And only do this if you are fully willing to cut the plan short. No squeezing in one more stop. No pushing the clock. Discipline matters here. That's why I don't recommend leaving JFK for most people. Staying on airport property is usually the smarter, safer move. But if you qualify, here's the simplest and safest version. You pick one destination. That's it. Not a checklist. One place. You do one thing there, either a proper meal or a short walk to clear your head. And then you turn back early, before you feel rushed. This is not about sightseeing. It's about a controlled reset without stress. Because here's the truth. Missing a flight wipes out every single win you just made. One bad timing decision can undo hours of smart planning. Final recap, choose your path before you go. Let's lock this in and keep it simple. You've got 3 paths, and only one of them needs to fit your situation. If comfort is your priority, eat one real meal, use a lounge if you have access, and take a proper shower. That alone can completely change how you feel before boarding. If you need a full reset, book a private room, step into the TWA Hotel, and get real rest. Sleep if you can. Slow everything down. This is how you protect your energy on a long layover. And if you're tempted to explore, remember this only works if you're disciplined. One destination. One activity. Early return. No exceptions. A 12-hour layover doesn't have to feel like punishment. Handled the right way, it can actually be one of the calmest parts of your trip.